Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com. This is your weekly tarot card reading, and I'm using the Universal Waite tarot deck for this reading. So I've decided to go with my classic cards. Now, you won't see me shuffle for this reading because what happened is I shuffled, I drew 3 cards, I got right to the end of the reading, and it was such a good reading, and I was so proud of it. And then I realized that my camera was completely out of focus for like half the video. So I decided to start over. But I've kept the same cards because I think they're important. So the card for Monday and Tuesday is the 7 of Pentacles. And the message of the 7 of Pentacles is to hang in there, to keep the faith. There's something that you have been pouring your energy into. There's something that you have been pouring your heart into. You've been focusing on this thing. You've been trying to make it happen. And you may be at that point where you're starting to get kind of discouraged and you're like, okay, nothing's really happening. Rest assured that your efforts are not in vain. Things are happening behind the scenes. Things are happening under the surface that you are not yet aware of. Like, things are happening. Something has been set in motion. You just haven't been seeing the tangible results of that yet. But you will in due time. So hang in there, be patient, because the seeds that you've planted are going to start sprouting. You're going to start seeing some results. Okay, so moving on to the middle of the week, Wednesday and Thursday, we have the Devil. Now, I always kind of get excited when this card comes up, even though it's a pretty creepy card, because whenever the Devil shows up in a reading, it means 2 things. Number 1, it means that you are finally ready for greater freedom in your life. You're ready to embrace more freedom. And number 2, it means that you're ready to recognize the patterns, the habits, the behaviors that have been keeping you stuck and powerless for so long. You're finally ready to face those things and move past them. So it's a really exciting card to get. So the message here is to sit down, maybe even with a pen and paper. I don't know about you, but I love writing things down. Sit down and really figure out what kinds of habits and patterns you have. What habits and patterns play a big part of your life? Now, you probably have some good habits, like, maybe exercising regularly or getting up early or something like that. We all have good habits. And then we all have some bad habits. And some of your bad habits, maybe they're really serious, maybe they're really bad, maybe they really affect you. You may have a drinking problem or some kind of addiction that really affects you. Or your bad habits may be more minor in nature, but they still don't have a positive effect on your life. So an example of like a minor bad habit might be, maybe you always reach for some junky snack foods when you're feeling stressed out, or maybe you always make up some dumb excuse when it comes to taking time out for yourself, or taking care of yourself. Or maybe you like to just kind of veg out every evening to some stupid show. And even though there's nothing terrible about those things, they may not be adding to your life. They maybe aren't contributing to you feeling more free and untethered. So with this card, I get that you are desiring more freedom in your life and to be able to feel more yourself, like to just be able to be free, to be who you are and to be out there with who you are, and to not feel stuck, to be able to really kind of live your best life. And this card is all about you kind of taking the initial steps of recognizing what habits and patterns are keeping you from doing that. And that's really the first step, is kind of recognizing the pattern. And once you recognize it, you're going to be able to transcend it by, taking action, by doing whatever it is you need to do, making some kind of action plan to get out of this habit or this pattern. And that's the hard part, really. But let's look at the next card, because this card is the card for the weekend. And we have the 5 of Cups. And the Five of Cups is really more of a warning about a tendency that, I was going to say a tendency that you have, but really this is a tendency that we all have. So we all have this tendency to focus on what isn't working. So the figure on the card here, there's 3 cups spilled, and he's focusing on these 3 cups. There's 2 cups that are upright behind him. He's got his back turned to them. It's like he doesn't care about them, or he's not fixated on them. He's fixated on the spilled cups. Now, I think we all do this. If something is not working, we tend to fixate on it because this is how we think we can find a solution and make things better. But this card is encouraging you to realize that there's a fine line between fixating on problems and just recognizing the problems so that you can learn from them and maybe find a solution. So the advice of this card is to turn around and notice the 2 cups behind you. So focus on what's working in your life. Notice what's positive. Look at the areas of your life that are working. So maybe your relationships are a mess or your finances are a mess, but what areas of your life are going well? What areas of your life do you enjoy? What things bring you pleasure, and, what things have you succeeded at? You're really focusing on those things, because when you focus on those things, not only do you lift your mood, and when you're in a uplifted mood, you're more likely to find solutions to your problems, as opposed to ruminating for hours about what's not working. But by fixating on what's working for you, you also can find solutions to the things that aren't working. Just by noticing, what's working, what am I doing right, and why is this working for me? What am I doing to contribute to that? And sometimes you're able to apply those same principles, those same things to other areas of your life that need a little TLC. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out and look at all 3 cards together and just see if I'm noticing anything else, if there's anything else that jumps out at me. And as always, I invite you to do the same. So I invite you to look at these cards, and if you have observations or interpretations that you feel like sharing, I invite you to do so in the comments section. So I'm noticing, what's interesting is all the people, and I'm not counting this devil guy as a person, he's kind of half animal, half man. I'm noticing that all the people are standing there, not really doing anything. So this guy here in the 7 of Pentacles is looking down at his plant, and he seems to be contemplating. He seems to be waiting. And this guy also is looking down, and he seems kind of forlorn as well, and he's kind of contemplating. And then these people are just kind of standing there, not really doing much. So I feel like this week, it's not so much a week of taking action. It's a week of perhaps going inward, contemplating things, doing more what I call the inner work, as opposed to, making things happen on a physical level. You're doing more inner work. And like I said, this is a good week to really focus on the positive. If you're feeling kind of down in the dumps this week, focus on the positive. If you're starting to feel impatient, like the guy in the 7 of Pentacles, again, focus on what it is that you're wanting to create and keep that vision in your mind, because now is not the time to give up, even though it may feel like it is, and it may feel like you really want to give up right now. This is not the time to give up. And I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that's jumping out at me, and I'm not seeing anything else. Yeah, not seeing anything else. So I would say, I won't say like, oh, it looks like a great week. It looks like a week actually where, it may be kind of not a bad week, but a week where you may start to feel a little bit hopeless about something. And the message, of course, is don't feel hopeless, keep the faith. But you may also feel like oh, I'm just ready to be rid of something, or I'm ready to feel more free. I'm ready to take the next step. And like I said, an important part of moving forward this week is about recognizing your habits and your patterns that aren't doing you any favors, that are keeping you stuck, and beginning to just become aware of those patterns. You don't have to transcend them yet, but just become aware of them. All right, so I hope you found this reading helpful. My name's Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com. And if you enjoyed this reading, you might want to subscribe to my channel. Just click the little red subscribe button on the bottom of this video. I post these videos every week. And if you want to learn more about tarot reading, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put a link in the description box below this video. And on my site, there's free tarot card spreads. There's tons of tutorials on how to read tarot. There's a list of tarot card meanings. There's all kinds of fun stuff. So check it out. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.